Hello, this is Tiny Bunny. How to get the good ending. This is intended if you're stuck in the game and just need to figure out what you're missing so that you can get a good ending in this. I have some recommendations for if you want to watch a playthrough of this or see all the endings. Different videos you can watch for that. I think other people have done a better job of this. This is more to figure things out really quickly. And it has massive spoilers. So it would be ideal if I didn't just tell you things that are going to matter in the game if you're not paying attention to that. Okay, so... So, first thing that's going to matter is you're going to want the police's phone number, but if you try to get that when your mom's in the room,
Антон,
your mom will yell at you and not let you do that. So you have to get her out of the room. Just needed for this part to progress anyway. Now you can grab the note. It's going to go in your little evidence drawer that you have. And you're going to need to collect all the evidence to get some help in the game. This glove is going to be another piece of that evidence. See, you're going to put both things in the drawer. This is the other important decision. So you're eventually going to have to figure out if you want to record the weird transmission you're getting or just watch the movie with your sister. You're going to want to record it. That's it for episode 1. Episode 2. You're actually going to want to do something you might not expect here. You are going to actually need to take the candy. Even though it's probably human flesh and it's making you part monster. Oh. Also, this guy, you're going to want to look at him. You're not going to fully get what you need looking at him here. But... just having that information that he's hanging around is going to be helpful. Because you're eventually going to need to keep him in jail. Also, very important, you're going to need to fight back. If you don't actually walk through out of a lot of the decisions in the game that are important, and you're going to have trouble completing the game because there's choices you need to make that the game's just not going to let you make if you don't stand up for yourself there. You're also going to want to go with Alyssa here. You're going to want to look at this guy again. I don't know if it's completely necessary to find him both times, but it doesn't hurt. But if you go for Alyssa instead of Pauline, you don't get. You actually can make the two friends here in the background, and end up surviving at the end. So you're gonna want to tell them to go away. Otherwise, it again locks you out of things in the game because you're just not really standing up for yourself. Okay, this is something really easy to miss. This is your opportunity to find this guy and get a close look at his face so you can draw it later. As you're walking by, you're going to need to click on him. It's not super obvious that that's even an option, but it avoids having an ending where he just comes and kills your entire family. So that's good. Keep skipping. Dad finds you, brings you home. Sorry, it doesn't really let you skip this part. Okay, so that's it for episode 2. Episode 3 has some skill challenges that you're going to need to do. So I'm actually going to go ahead and save the game in case I totally mess this up, because it's really easy to do. You're going to need to go through his notebook when he's not thinking. So he's going to turn to the board. He wanders around for a long time without doing it here. You're going to need to go through it twice. So, kind of wanders back and forth. And as soon as he turns around, you click on it. He's going to turn around sooner, but he turns back around really quickly. So, going to need to be really quick there.
До свидания, лейтенант.
You're going to want to tell him that you saw someone suspicious. And since you saw the face up close, you're going to be able to draw it. So the one with no eyebrows, the kind of widow's peak, shorter hair, band-aid nose, and the cut on the face. You hand that over, people are impressed with your art, and he's able to lock away that guy, so instead of him killing your family, you can actually have a decent ending. Now, the reason you had to eat the candy earlier is you're gonna need...
Ого,
You're gonna
теперь
need the
мой.
trading card that
Мне
was
тут
inside,
один. Он говорит, нет, вот и
so you can try
расплатился
to get
фотиком.
this camera. Now, I'm really bad at this minigame, so I'm going to save again. It's best out of 5. Okay, I usually fail that, so I'm glad I didn't have to learn. Anyway, Going through, you put your ring in there. No, it doesn't actually matter what you do here. But I'm kind of bad at this game because I can't see my mouse, so it's hard to see where I'm aiming. But you make your sister cry if you win, so it's almost good if you fail anyway, so. I think there's an achievement for getting a perfect score on this game. I think that's the one achievement I don't have. Because I'm not good at this minigame. As you can see. I might actually make my sister cry here. He's surprisingly good at this game. Oh, yeah. But you could actually skip it, doesn't matter. Okay, you definitely want to pick Ramka here. Otherwise, I think Ramka's gonna get really mad, and I think he might just kill you if you don't help him.
Как детей не замечать, как мечты их развенчать. Учат в школе, учат в школе, учат в школе. Крепко-накрепко вловить, с детства слабеньких чморить. Учат в школе, учат в школе, учат.
Still here, even though technically I'm skipping.
Спасибо.
Okay, that's it for episode 3. Episode 4. For the home stretch, everything is decision-based here, no more skill challenges. Okay, you're definitely going to want to invite him here, because that's the only way you actually can get to the shed, and we're going to need to use that camera to take a picture to get, I think it's our last bit of evidence. Oh, you know what? I lied. There actually is one more skill challenge left. Or actually 2 skill challenges. Second one's a lot easier than the first one. So you look around the garage, things look normal. Talk to Roma. And you're gonna need to pull her out. Now, ultimately, you're not gonna be able to succeed. But you need to try and close her down as get a picture, get a it's actually getting hard. The second challenge, you take a picture of her hair. I'm not sure if there's actually a time limit on this, but I assume so. I don't know. This is a lot easier. So now you have a picture of the shed. It's evidence. This is where things start to go downhill, at least like threat-wise. But if you made all the right decisions, you will be able to see that you do this and refuse and better to use it both times. And you'll see they'll turn into monsters. I think they can turn into the different forms back and forth, so I wouldn't say it's their favorite form, but more true to who they are. So that's it for episode 4. Episode 5. You know, you realize your sister didn't actually die there. It's symbolic, I think, of her getting sick. You're gonna take the dog in, feed him, get the axe, and to be able to feed the monsters, you need to kill the dog. You traumatize your sister. Realizing it's a monster traumatizes her less, because instead of a dog dying, it's like, oh, well, it was a monster. So, kind of doesn't matter what you do here for the next bit until the end. I also don't know if this is supposed to hint that this isn't real, because if you made the choices you made, even though you saw her die, she's alive. But it also might just be that they just haven't added a situation here for what happens if you don't save her, or if you see her die, like, they haven't come up with a situation for this yet. Now, I'm gonna go with Paulina because it doesn't really matter. There's a fun Easter egg you can find here. You get to make a phone call. Now, you're supposed to call home. You will, to progress the story, but you can actually call a lot of different numbers here. If you eat the candy, and it'll kill, like, the town, and you'll see a lot of missing posters for everyone. But those missing posters have phone numbers, and you can call them. And I think it's a little Easter egg where
Каши.
it's people who, like, worked on the game.
Каши, не хватает каши.
I think they give the people
Я
audio clips for this.
Я расскажу им.
It's in Russian.
Я это сделаю.
But this is the guy who kind of looks like a raccoon in this picture. So I think he's just being silly here. A lot of them are really short, but some like that are a little bit longer and are saying something. It doesn't give you any achievements, but it's just kind of fun. Now, you're supposed to, like, memorize or write down which chords she teaches you. Not really the chords, but, like, in between different notes and chords, you play one string in particular, and you go through in order and do that a few times. But you can also just skip it. It doesn't matter. She's not real. She's just in your head. So it's important you refuse to take your medicine here, because it's just symbolic of you staying in your delusion and becoming a thrall of the button. It's kind of him just lashing out at you for not going through, and Olga's trying to get you out of that. So you're gonna make the phone call. You call your friend, your two friends, and you're able to call the cop. So if you gathered all the evidence, you got the video
И о
cassette.
монстре, названном...
He
Не
saw
может.
that.
Я тоже ее
You
видел.
got his phone number, so you've been able to
У меня,
call
вот я и
him.
пил. А как ты говоришь, ее записал?
Даже больше. В лесу, где... И я клянусь вам, она
You have the
кровоточила, пока я
glove,
не
the
принес ее
blood.
домой.
Other
Ряд
people
такой,
ended up seeing
черт.
this.
Да, и
So
печатка
he's
Семена.
like, they notice it, but they didn't, because the blood disappears. They just kind of think they're crazy. You have the evidence of the ring. I'm not sure why you need the ring, but I've tried doing it where you don't get the ring, and it doesn't count as you having enough evidence to convince him.
Так вот, ты осознаешь, она...
Так приезжайте! И это еще не все. У меня хранится фотография с
Then you
останками
have the
Кати.
picture of the hair and the
Четвертой
machine.
жертвой, поймите, наконец, они все мертвы.
Shed.
Хотите, что... Алло! Мертвые к мертвым.
So you're able to convince him to help, and he comes and helps. You have your two friends. If you see two silhouettes, you definitely can let them in. I think there's a bad ending where you end up letting in one of the monsters on accident. There's a few endings where you only end up letting in one of your friends. I think, but yeah, you see two figures, you're definitely fine, so let them in. This comes up in the ending I think is the best ending, but it doesn't really come up unless you take it here, at least with the choices made so far. Dog meat to distract them. Now, something interesting, you saw the bear and the owl and the goat, but missing is the wolf and the fox. But, you know, you have your aggressive friend and female love interest with you inside, so it's almost like you gathered some allies who actually do something against these monsters. Run outside. And you're going to want to save Julia here. Roma is going to help save Pauline no matter what you do, so you're able to get out, but Julia, you need to survive and get a good ending, so you're going to save Julia. Otherwise, you can't save her. Then you gather the ally of the police officer. And then you have the showdown. So the police officer ends up being the wolf from the previous generation of kids going missing. And your mom is the bunny from the previous generation going missing. And then you have the wolf and the fox who help you as well. Kind of making this like a civil war. Now to convince your mom to help you, she needs to see both Julia and you without a mask. So don't put it on. She'll kind of be sad at what's happening, and I think she helps because it makes the fight a lot more evenly matched, and there's only the fox and the goat left, and the goat, here, I'm gonna save, because I think there's a few good endings here. The goat offers you the mask. I'm gonna do the ending I think is the best one first, so I'm gonna go ahead and smash the mask. And your dad rescues your sister and you. I'm gonna save here again because not necessarily a bad ending either way, but I think it's a better ending if you hug her, even though she's being creepy. She ends up helping you in your mission to stop this cycle. So you become an artist, and she helps you fight the cycle now. He ends up kind of turning into the goat, I think because he just opened the door to the shed instead of knocking first. And he's kind of tricking kids into becoming the next animals. And with the cross you have, you're able to contact this angel entity that kind of guides you in what to do, helps you remove the parasites from your guys' heads, so you're able to think clearly and not continue the cycle and have him control you here. And you're able to get rid of him and the shed. And as a reward, the angel comes and wipes your memory of the cycle and everything that happened to you, and even like each other. But you wake up next to each other, and your sister calls. So presumably, like, you can figure things out from here. So I think that's the best ending. But I'm actually going to show you the other one, because it's not necessarily bad either. You just kind of have to do things on your own more. So you still become an artist, but she does become a violinist, but since she still has the parasite, she ends up killing her husband's. It's kind of like a sad ending for her. And since you have the parasite in you still, and you know it might take you over at some point, you prepare some countermeasures where you can take yourself out. But you research kind of cryptid activity and put it into your artwork, so other people who might notice something like this going on can relate, hey, this is really similar to your work. They'll reach out to you and you can help fight it. But you have to do it largely on your own, so I'm not sure it's as good of an ending. There's another ending I'm going to show where you put on the mask and kill the goat. If you want to explore that ending of still going with Alyssa and having that ending, kind of leaving your family to be happy without you while you frolic in the woods. It's like kind of a trickster cryptid. But you do still fight people who are evil, so you're going to kill the guy who took his family here. And, you know, keep a relationship with Alyssa going forward. Your sister and your family end up having a fairly happy life. It's not the worst ending. I'm actually going to show, there's another ending where you do eat the candy and become a monster, so everything looks happy and kind of pulls you into the illusion more. Your brain showing the monsters and eating them. It looks like everything's happy and you get your dreams come true, but eventually you realize that that's not what happened. Yeah, this is the board I mentioned earlier. We have all the phone numbers. A lot of the faces look suspiciously like voice actors or computer programmers who I think worked on this, and different phone numbers. So here's the guy I called who's being silly and looks like a raccoon. So they tell you brought us a bunch of food, but you can do it again. You can get your family. That's actually what we're going to do in this playthrough. Just to show what happens. I'm going to spare the dog just because it doesn't. You couldn't feed him to them anyway because he's too small. green. Doesn't really matter. And you're gonna want to sacrifice your sister. If you sacrifice yourself, you just both die here. They break in the roof and eat you both because you're not really listening to what they say. But you embrace the monster here. You and them eat your parents, and you kind of learn the ritual about each animal needing to take a bite out of the moon. So after this, you take a bite out of the moon. You become the monster. You and the other cryptids end up becoming giant tiny monsters that and you don't stop there. You end up traveling to planet, other celestial bodies. Soon the cosmos is kind of the end of the universe. Yeah, there's other interesting endings, so I would recommend, again, checking out the All Endings video. I'm going to put a link to in the description.